So a new board, I redid it off camera. Last week's attempt had a permanent E situation, and it just said shed rules with a full stop for a while. We won't talk about that. How many days since I started a new project? As always, 0. We'll see how long that holds. Here's the job. Every drawer in this shed, all of them. The plan is Gridfinity, a modular grid system that I 3D print, so every tool gets its own slot and nothing lives in a pile ever again. Today's goal was simple, just one. Do one drawer properly, start to finish. Let's just see how that pans out, eh? So, I think we'll start with this drawer. Quick version of how these are made. There's a Gridfinity generator online. You pick your bin sizes, how many compartments, and it spits out the model. First up, I create a base plate that's the size of my drawers, and that will dictate how many bins and what size bins I can actually put in there. Because I've got such a small 3D printer, I can only create base plates and bins that are 3x3 grid and up to 120 millimeters high. So that sort of limits me a fair bit. It just means that I have to be a little bit creative and create base plates that have what they call connectors. So once I have all my base plates printed, I can then get on and start creating bins. Once I've created the bins, I then just download them, pop them into Up Studio, and a few hours later, a thing. That's the whole loop. Design it, slice it, wait, hold it. It genuinely doesn't get old. As you can see, I'm taking all the care in the world to get everything out of the drawer, ready to put into bins. Some of you may say, hey, where's my ESD strap? And what about the electrical components? I honestly believe if some shit in this drawer dies because of ESD, then that's probably a good thing. This was quite satisfying to watch these 3x3 grids go into this drawer, how it fits nearly perfectly 3 deep and approximately 5 wide. As you'll see later, I'll have to just trim the ends of a couple of them, but that's really no big deal. Each of these little 3x3 grid takes around about an hour and 20 minutes to complete on my little printer. So there's actually quite a fair bit of pre-work that's gone into just getting 1 or 2 drawers prepared. So I didn't really care too much about having to chop the ends off these green bases, as it was done with a pretty crap filament and I wasn't really happy with them. You'll see very shortly how crap the filament and brittle it was. I mentioned the connectors earlier. This is me trying to actually get them to connect. But stupid me, I've printed them the wrong way, so all they're actually doing is snapping because they're so brittle. 1, because, I printed them the wrong way, and 2, that's old crap filament that's very, very brittle. Quick fix, heat gun. That fixes every plastic problem.
You fucking idiot.
Except for this one. Plan B, sticky tape. Sticky tape fixes everything that the heat gun fucks. I'm just popping the bins in just to line up the grids here before I finish taping them all in. So this is my reject bin. Not because it failed, it's because I failed to print it properly. Now that all the bases are taped in, it's time to roll up the sleeves and get real. Let's put some bins in. It's so satisfying. Now I've just been printing bins, not clever custom ones, just bins. Various sizes. My idea is just to get some order happening now and print fancy tool-specific ones later. Once I've got a printer that can keep up. Just like copies of Windows 95, every shed should have 10 Arduinos. Looks like I'm going to need more bins. So I'm just about to run out of my black filament here on one of these 2x2 bins. So I'm just doing old school filament changeover halfway through. You'll be able to see it start coming out in yellow. This is going to be in my two-tone. Yellow starting to appear about now. So 5.5 yellow bins in, it started making some funny noises. I got this bin printed Then all of a sudden it made this pop noise. Some smoke sort of came out the bottom. And then the bed dropped and it just started spewing out filament. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to recover it. And yes, I did turn it off and back on again. So the goal was 1 drawer. This is half a drawer. The other half's currently a pile of intentions and a dead printer. So I took the top off, had a bit of a look-see. There's nothing in there that I could see that was letting the smoke out. I'll put it back together. I can't finish this on her. So this one ends the way a lot of my projects end. Unfinished. To be continued. Although there's still that box under the bench, isn't there? We'll talk about that next week. Counters still on 0. Shit isn't put away. At least the rubbish is in the bin. If any of this looks like your shed or your brain, subscribe. And I'll see you next week when apparently there's something in a box. Shed brain, 1 grid box at a time.